So I quit. Well, I don't really quit, but these are 10 things that I certainly do quit. Let me start off with the first one was people pleasing. I don't know about you, but boy, I spent my entire life really trying to please others, whether consciously or even subconsciously. And what's funny, I guess, maybe it's kind of sad, but it's funny to me, is that a lot of people in my life that I've tried to please are people, quite honestly, in many cases, people I don't even like. People that I certainly wouldn't invite over to dinner. Well, that and having 3 dogs makes it a challenge to invite anyone over for dinner anyway, right? But that's one thing I've quit is people pleasing. And when I say quit, it's actually both past tense and I am quitting, because after 57 years, some of this is pretty ingrained. So that's the first thing I quit is people pleasing. Next thing I quit is being ugly to myself. And I mean that behaviorally. Why is it that we have no trouble being kind and giving the benefit of the doubt to strangers or other people, but trash talk ourselves? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I've mentioned that in earlier videos, but that is a real problem. I think, kind of like in an airplane when a flight attendant tells you to put your oxygen mask on first, it's not because they're saying be selfish. It's because they know that if you don't take care of yourself, you're not in a position to help anyone else. And quite honestly, if you can't have any love for yourself, how in the world can you share that love with anybody else? So that's one thing I've done, is I've stopped trash talking myself, and rather than that, spend more time on gratitude notes, sharing and praising God for the many blessings I have, and being thankful for the fact that God made me as I am. I might not be everyone's cup of tea. I might not be anyone's cup of tea, but I'm my own cup of tea, and I'm okay with that, and I would encourage you to do the same. Next thing I've quit is worrying about how I look. We age. Father Time creeps in, and once he starts coming and knocking, doesn't seem to leave. But the one thing I've learned is that, beauty is far, I think, more beautiful, if you will, when the beauty is somebody that is wise, kind, and maybe has just qualities other than just an outward appearance. We can't change the fact that we are, sounds like there's dogs going crazy back there, right? We can't stop time. We don't need to be injecting ourselves with fillers and all these other things here to make it look like we're younger than we are or better shape than we are or what have you. Just accept it. I think seeing somebody that's 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even and beyond, who just have a strong sense of self is more beautiful anyway than a lot of the folks you see that are all made up. So that's the other thing I stopped, is worrying about how I look. Next thing is trying to be that perfect guy. The one that never makes mistakes, the ones that are never sad, the one that everything seems to be going right for all the time. Let's be real. It's not possible. Every single person has burdens and struggles. And one thing I've learned, and I'm kind of maybe ashamed to say it, is how can you impact other people that are really struggling, that have burdens and concerns, if every time they bring something up to you, your comment is always, hey, buck up, soldier. You're going to make it. Everything's just great. And being positive. It's not possible. And it's not being authentic. We all have burdens, challenges. So I stopped being that guy, and I'd recommend if you are, you know what, you might want to consider that as well. Okay, next one's not so much about personal, but I stopped with house repairs and mowing my lawn. The way I look at it, there's actually people out there that enjoy doing that. There's people out there that make a living doing it. I happen to not be very good at the house repairs. And quite honestly, after so many lawns I've mowed, don't love that much at all either. I kind of loathe it. So I look at it this way. I am helping the economy, and I am being a blessing to other people by paying them to do that job for me. So, and you can also look at it this way. Time is money. right? And how much more time can you pick up, and what's the value of that by spending a little extra money and taking those tasks off your list? So I gave up house repairs and mowing the lawn. Next thing I quit, mainstream media and television. Do you ever wonder why they call TV shows programs? Could it be because they're programming us, right? I have turned the TV off. Now, I do watch a lot of media, but more so it's YouTube, it's independent journalism, it's sources that I've trust to kind of go along with what my senses tell me. I have eyes, I have ears, I have intellect, as do you. I think it's amazing how when I look at the world events or I see the world around me through my own eyes and I come up with my own opinions, it's sometimes different than what I'm being told to believe. So for me, I gave up mainstream media and yeah, doing better for it. Quite honestly, I know I'm healthier, I feel better. Next thing is living for sports. Okay, now, what I mean by that is living for sports that is, again, televised or as a spectator. I think sports are great for many reasons, building teamwork, physical fitness, whatever those things might be. But to just sit there and waste, literally waste, no disrespect to anyone, but to waste hours and hours and money on watching other people perform, quite honestly, I found for me, maybe not for you, for me, is an absolute waste of time and money. There are too many things that we could be doing to build up our own self. For me, quite honestly, it's developing a YouTube channel, right? And why do I do the YouTube channel? I do it because somehow, some way, maybe some folks are encouraged by what I share. So to me, this is how I do it. We also do other things. My wife and I, and we'll talk about this more in a future video as well. We have a business where we write and create content for children to help develop them in literacy, in social skills, as well as character building. So those are the things we do. We have some fun doing that. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time over many years rooting for teams on TV, squandering that time. And most of the time, my team lost anyway. So what was the benefit? There really wasn't one. Next one I'm going to say that I think I would share with you that I've quit, okay, is living for the weekend. Not living on the weekend, not enjoying the weekend, but spending 5 days of every week looking forward to only 2. How much sense does that make? So we spend, I don't know what 2 into 7 is, right? But we spend that percentage each week, okay, enjoying things as opposed to doing things and having an outlook that says, I'm going to enjoy all 7. Time is precious, it's fleeting, we don't get it back, it's our most important commodity. And we spend, by and large, 5 days looking forward to only 2. So yeah, I don't do that anymore. I set a goal to be as happy on Monday as I am on Friday or Saturday. Is it always easy? No, but I have a choice. And I can also pivot to do those things that will make it more enjoyable. And I think the last thing I want to share with you right now is the last thing I quit. The last thing I quit is trying to change the minds and opinions of people with whom I disagree or disagree with me. You know, I find in life that the one thing I think over the last few years that I've experienced, and I think a lot of other people have as well, is that we have lost our ability to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Everything is so amped up. And so quite honestly, it's almost like positions are set. We're holding or fortifying our fortress, right? We're not going to let anyone penetrate our thoughts. So what used to be the ability to have just dialogue, and again, agree to disagree without being disagreeable, it's like an old lost art form. So you know what? I choose not to engage with folks with whom I have a different opinion and I can't sway them one way or the other. I'd rather live, I guess it sounds kind of a hippie, I'd rather live in love and you know, enjoy our time together than to focus on things that are going to have no impact whatsoever. To me, it's frustrating It's like banging your head against the wall. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I am saying that I have an opinion, and I have a right to that opinion, as do they, as do you. So, but if we can't move on it, to me, it's not worth a friendship. It's certainly not worth a relationship in a family. So that's the last thing I gave up. So I'll think of some more as we go along, but I hope you're encouraged. I would like for you to drop in the comment, if you would, what's that one thing that you quit, if you quit something, and why is that important? And I also ask you, please like, subscribe, and share this content if you would. I only do it so that we can encourage other folks, namely folks in their, who are seniors or near seniors, okay? Because I want to see people who are a little bit later in life, have a little more life in the rearview mirror than out the windshield, to strive to have their best new ending. So for now, thank you very much. Thanks for watching Silver Sage Reflections, and I'll be back to you again soon.